This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive. Featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me at Backup Bradley on Twitter just above. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin halving real quick, and then we're going to talk about how XRP, Ripple are taking over the world. And it is absolutely true, and I'm going to show it to you through a couple articles here. And yes, that's right. While it's still 18 cents, it's still happening. When else would you want mass adoption to take place anyway, I ask you? At $1,000 a coin? Let's get started. Okay, so right here we have an article from Bloomberg senior commodity strategist Michael McGlone, who says Bitcoin halving is a non-event, and he's big on Bitcoin. Mike McGlone, Bloomberg senior commodity strategist, is bullish on the leading cryptocurrency. However, he believes that the upcoming Bitcoin halving event will be a non-event. In an interview with Cointelegraph on his experience as a commodities trader, Mike McGlone says the stock market had its biggest correction since the Great Depression, down 15%, and he views it as quite significant that Bitcoin is weathering this storm. Yet, that's interesting. All right, so let's continue. He added that the key thing about it is that it never stopped trading, never halted, and it didn't even have a third party guiding it. Mike is not bullish on anything other than Bitcoin. I get his point. He's talking about the fact that during all of this correction through the markets, that Bitcoin kept trading, never halted like the market did. It never saw the drastic drops that the regular traditional market suffered. So let's keep going here. Mike McGlone also emphasized that he is not bullish on anything other than Bitcoin. While commenting on the upcoming halving, he said it is a non-event, a complete non-event. It's for amateurs, and that knowns don't matter in markets. He stands firm on his bullish take on Bitcoin. McGlone said that the key resistance people are going to be looking at is $10,000, and that's very doable. I would be very disappointed if it trades much below 5,000 support, he added. The Bitcoin halving is scheduled to take place next month. The Bitcoin halving is scheduled to take place in the next 20 days at the time of writing, and Bitcoin is changing hands just above $7,000 mark, 6% up in the last 7 days. Halving event would reduce the block reward by half. Currently, the reward of mining each block is 12.5 Bitcoin. But after the halving, the reward would be reduced to 6.25 Bitcoin. In the past, Bitcoin halving event has had a positive impact on the price of Bitcoin. However, the price of Bitcoin did not go up just after the halving, but after a few months. This is the first time Bitcoin is heading into the halving, even with this historical low levels of relative strength index. Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on it. We do know that there are some extraordinary circumstances going into this halving, economy-wise, for people, right? Their jobs have been shut down. The world has been shut down, deliberately done to them. Now, it's going to cause one of two things. Either people are going to feel about it the way that Mike McGlone said and think that it's a non-event, but he also said something that may trigger people to want to be in Bitcoin. You know, the fact that it didn't suffer the drastic leg down that the traditional stock market did. Now, will it be enough to take it up and hold beyond the 10,000 mark? Remains yet to be seen. So, okay, let's keep moving because I'm going to come back and make a point about this and the halving that's coming up here. Now, I said when we opened this up, but I'm going to show you some articles here that show absolute mass adoption and world dominance, and that's exactly what we're going to get to right now. We start with this. Okay, this is from the Daily Hodl, and shout out to Peter Vass and XRP Crypto Wolf and PJ Royster for these articles that we're talking about today too. So, Coinbase and Ripple-backed startup launches Twitter-based payment system. Okay, fintech startup Dharma is launching a new system that allows Twitter users to accept payments in US dollars. Whoa! The peer-to-peer platform touts its solution as a way for people on Twitter to receive tips and micropayments easily without fees. In addition, Dharma says money stored in its wallet earned an APR of 3.6% interest. Whoa! Introducing social payments, a Twitter-native financial ecosystem today, you can send USD to any Twitter handle regardless of where the person lives, even if they don't have a Dharma account. Now every Twitter handle accepts and earns interest on payments. To send money to a user on Twitter, Dharma says its customers must first deposit funds into their Dharma wallet. Then a user will enter the recipient's Twitter handle in the app in order to designate the funds. That triggers an automatic tweet alerting the recipient that they have received money. The tweet includes a link that recipients can link in order to create a Dharma account to accept the payment. Dharma has received funding for a number of crypto and blockchain venture funds. In February of 2019, the company completed a $7 million round that saw participation from Ripple, Coinbase Ventures, and Polychain Capital, among others. Now, let me tell you something. Dharma is a project that came out of Spring. They're going to be using XRP back in to settle all these different currencies from all these Twitter users all over the place. Mass adoption. Come on in. Let's keep it going. Ripple joins Mobi, the initiative of BMW and IBM and Ford and General Motors, Renault and Bosch and others. Wow! Heard of all of them. Ripple, the cross-border payment giant, has joined the Mobility Open Blockchain Initiative, Mobi. This initiative was established about 2 years ago, aiming to leverage blockchain functionalities in a new digital mobility environment. According to the report, Mobi has a strong relationship with companies that manufacture the majority of vehicles in use across the world. The initiative of this formation comprises of BMW, Renault, Bosch, General Motors, and Ford, including very large companies like IBM, Accenture, and some blockchain companies such as Hyperledger, IOTA Foundation, and Consensus. Mobi has added Ripple to its directory, which indicates the confirmation of its membership in the initiative. Boom, right there. On its official website, Mobi describes Ripple as follows. Ripple is a real-time gross settlement system, currency exchange, and remittance network created by Ripple Labs, Inc. U.S.-based technology company released in 2012, Ripple is built upon a distributed open-source protocol and supports tokens representing fiat currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and other units of value such as frequent flyer miles and mobile minutes. Ripple purports to enable secure, instantly, and nearly free global financial transactions of any size with no chargebacks. However, the role of Ripple could play in the initiative is still unknown. But Mobi could leverage the use case of Ripple and XRP in terms of payments. According to Mobi white paper, it plans to launch a number of projects by the end of the year. Now, as a side note, we covered this here. Shout out to Merlin Ross, who started this fire to begin with. Ripple's head of XRP markets leaves job. According to Cointelegraph, Ripple seems to have lost its second executive of 2020 after Miguel Viez, the head of XRP markets, updated his LinkedIn status to indicate the end of his tenure in blockchain tech. Viez joined Ripple in 2016 after a 5-year role at the CME Group, global head of precious metals options. During his tenure at Ripple, Viez was in charge of devising a strategic partnership for XRapid. He also oversaw XRP sales surpassing $1 billion in value. Congratulations to Miguel Viez, and we cannot wait to see where he lands. Pretty exciting stuff. Okay, so moving on here, and here's another reminder. We covered this the other day from the World Economic Forum. Inclusive deployment for blockchain for supply chains. Trade. Right? Supply chains. Trade. How big is trade finance? I want to remind you that not only is that big, R3 is big. 78% of all Italian banks will be using R3 Cordis platform, which gives them access to the Cordis settler, which allows either settlement through Swift GPI or the digital asset XRP. Come on in. So now that's another one. Mass adoption. at 18 cents. Don't believe it? It's still true. We go down here. I'm just going to show you to build the case. Individual systems can be joined. These networks can be made into larger ecosystems and networks here. It gives you the example of Bitcoin, Ethereum, decentralized app between the shipper and the consignee. All right, so let's keep on here. This is trade finance. Up there, it just talked about consensus. Interledger. R3 quarter settler, Hyperledger Quilt. There you go. Let's keep it going. There's plenty in here. I'm just going down to the diagram so you can see for yourself. All right, Ethereum, Cosmos, Icon, BTC Relay, Bitcoin, Interledger, Ripple, R3 quarter settler, Corda. Come on in. OneChain, Hyperledger Quilt, Hyperledger. You see the winners. It's not financial advice. They're telling us what they're going to use. These are the documented interoperability between individual blockchain technologies or interoperability solutions in the figures. Parties that claim on working on establishing interoperability have not been shown in the diagram. It's no longer whether we think it is, at least in my estimation. Do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Vet my information. Vet these things. You can Google it just like I can Google it. You can look at it just like I do. You know, you figure out what you think. You come up with your own estimation of what it is. It looks like through the least supply chains, there's going to be a lot of winners there. Supply chains and trade finance are a huge, huge part of the economy, the global economy. So it makes sense. Now, let's go to this one here. Shout out to Kevin Cage, who actually shared this earlier on Twitter. And I just wanted to get this as to button everything up, because back in 2016, Chris Larson laid it down, as he often does. How would you defend XRP, which lives in a public and open network, if banks came up with the idea of creating a banks-only digital asset? Blockchains play an important role in the Internet of Value as the root ledgers for digital assets. Notice that word, root ledgers for digital assets, which can dramatically reduce liquidity costs for international transactions. It becomes very clear that XRP is the most efficient digital asset for interbank settlement. Brad Garlinghouse, and COO and soon-to-be CEO at the time in 2016 of Ripple, recently talked about this subject. His argument is that any bank-issued coin would really only be useful to settle between the bank that issued it, further fragmenting the currency landscape, or all banks could forget their differences and agree to use the same digital asset with harmonious rules and governance. I agree with Brad. That's pretty unlikely. One of the strongest features of XRP is that it's an independent digital asset, so it has the potential to be truly universal. The right digital asset won't have to be backed by a fiat currency, so it won't pose a liability in trading. Every bank creating a settlement coin will be worse than what we've got now. It would probably add friction rather than reducing it. It's unlikely that every bank will use one digital asset. Even one as perfect for the job of settlement as XRP. But the XRP has specific benefits, and is this the best one for the job? XRP will continue to live on an interoperable network, and banks can still use it. There you have it, with a bow on it. That's where we're at. Now I come back to this as a finish. And if you hold Bitcoin, you're hoping that the halving takes you to the moon. All right, that's going to do it for me. I hope in some way we've been able to shine a light on what's actually taking place here with adoption, whether it's Bitcoin or Ripple, XRP, or even Ethereum, the Hyperledger Quilt and the Hyperledger and the Interledger, right? Don't forget, too, to add to the story, just recently, Ethereum's network, which is a private network, has been made interoperable with the ILP and the XRP ledger. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hit the like and subscribe on the way out. Please share the content if you like it. And we will see you today at 12 p.m. Eastern right here on Investment Perspectives.